All right, good morning, everyone. Let's get going. All right, another good solid session out of the U.S. last night. Kind of following the back of a little bit of relief out of potential war on Syria. I think the markets actually toward the end of the night they get a nice final boost. You can see there kind of from these lows. Not lows, but when we were starting to pull back toward the end of the day, that was about the time his press conference was. You can really see how we spiked into the end of the day and really closed at the highs of the day on after he had finished his talks and kind of cooling tensions to an extent. So you can see every sector was up across the board. We did have some. Obviously, some good catalysts that were going into the day. Previous night's Chinese data, and things of that nature. Also, obviously, the comments, between the, with Russia's suggestions of what to do in Syria, all just gave us a nice little boost on the day. I think we've seen a little bit of buyer's exhaustion this morning, though. With Asia a little bit mixed. We've seen Nikkei kind of come back down to close around flat line. Hong Kong's off a little bit. So really just a flat day for the most part in Asia. I think, like I said, a little bit of buyer's exhaustion. We have seen the yen, though, that's popped up through 100 nicely there. But really, yesterday we were up 2.2%, I think, on the DAX. So I think we've maybe moved enough on this, the talks of Syria tensions cooling. All right, this morning we had RMB headline earnings per share at 367. That was in line with the guidance from the trading statement, which was better than what previous Bloomberg expectations were at 357. Divi per share was a nice beat of 20 cents. And then the intrinsic value per share is up 10% at 38 Rand 31 cents. So I think that's going to be really positive numbers out of RMB, very similar to First Rand yesterday. It's one of the ones I was potentially looking at showing anyway this morning. It had just broken out as of yesterday. So I think all in all, RMB is looking good and probably good to potentially make new highs over the next couple of sessions. That's CFR 5-month trading update. I do believe that's only due tomorrow. But tomorrow they'll be looking for sales expectations up 8%. We don't really have any other numbers to go with that. And then we're also looking at Aspen that's got numbers out today. The headline earnings per share, the guidance that they came out with was a touch lower than Bloomberg expectations. But I think, technically we actually broke out yesterday. And I think that there potentially could be, a little bit, some people in the know on that with it running like that the last few sessions ahead of earnings. All right, market data out today. We've got German CPI, or that was out a little while ago. We have UK jobless claims change. We've got the ILO unemployment rate out of the UK. We've got mortgage apps in the States. We've got local manufacturing production, and then in the States we've got wholesale inventory. So nothing too hectic to follow today in terms of market data. All right, let's get into the maps. Okay, first thing I want to look at here. Sorry, 5-year chart. Let's look at the FTSE here. Just looking at all the indexes recently, we had seen a nice little pullback over a few sessions, and now you can see we're getting up to a point of maybe breaking out of trendline resistance here on the FTSE. Just wanted to show that today. I would think above 6,600, maybe we could catch a little momentum. It looks like we're opening about 10 points below that at the moment. All right. ARIs, really a huge bounce off the bottom. We've kind of come up and we put in a lot of consolidation and really a line in the sand here around 199, just couldn't break above it. And then yesterday finally we got the breakout on ARI, closed at 202.27. You can see there kind of a nice little flag pattern that we've broken out of. I would fully expect this thing to retest the highs up around 209 in the next couple sessions. All right, Xaro pattern looks really similar here for Xaro. Like we said, really just banging its head up against this 166 level for several sessions. I mean, I think we spent almost a month trying to break above this, and each pullback just got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and you can see they were broke out as of yesterday. I really think that we can probably move up another $6 from the breakout point at 166, so there could be another $4 on the move to the upside here in the next couple of days. Steinhoff had great earnings out yesterday. Obviously, we saw it trade up strongly on the back of that. I'm going to actually bounce out to a 2-year here just so you can see it a little bit more clearly. And really, this thing topped out back in 2012 around 30 Rand. We pulled back really hard. It did find some support down here around $23. But I mean, it's already made a huge move to the upside here. I mean, we're talking about this thing's moved up 50% off the lows from only back in May. But we had a beautiful breakout over the last 2 sessions, confirmed yesterday with really good earnings. I think it's going to be a really positive story there because of the fact that they're looking to potentially spin off the one unit, unlock some value for shareholders there. It's going to be really positive that they're starting paying divvies. So very good story there, I think, out of Steinhoff, and I really think that the upside here potentially could be massive. I really think that potentially could be a lot of meat left on this bone. All right, a little look at Impalas. I'm going back 2 years here just to find where we really broke down when we moved lower back in the beginning part of the year was when we dropped this kind of 125, 126 level. And you can really see there on a closing basis how we once we got below, we bounced back up, tested it, and really failed. So I think this level is really important. Also really coincides right on the money. I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better, but it's right on the money as well with the 200-day moving average. So this is actually quite a big inflection point, I think, in Impalas, around 125, 126. We get above here, I really think this thing could move a hell of a lot higher, considering that when you look at the sort of top end of this range, all these other miners are really testing fib retracement levels of 61+%. We're still, that would put us up kind of right around 140 if we were to test that in Impalas, and so I wouldn't be surprised if these things do break out here. But watch them closely around 125, 126. Definitely a little bit of resistance. All right. Let's look at Goldfields. Let's see Goldfields here. It's as of yesterday. Really weird how it actually traded in yesterday's session, because we got some negative news that the Securities and Exchange Commission in the States investigating their BEE deal from a year or two ago and the licenses that they've given out. Obviously a very negative story, but it didn't really pull back during our hours. Well, it did proceed to fall another couple Rand from where we closed after hours here. Obviously, I think we're going to trade lower this morning, but you can see as of yesterday, we really broke down below a nice little setup here. So I think there could be significant downside actually to Goldfields here, especially this potentially could also be lining up nicely with the taper that's coming. I think if they do announce taper here, obviously it's got to be somewhat priced in, but I think that will start to put pressure on gold as well. So watch this one closely. I really think this thing could potentially take out previous lows and maybe even a lot more than that. All right, and the last one I want to show here is Netflix in the States. For you guys punting in the U.S., you can see there had a huge move up yesterday, about 6.5%, up through the 300 level. Was previously up at 300 back in the middle of 2011, and broke down all the way below $60. You can see there we popped back above 300 and had its best close, its all-time closing high, up at $313. I don't even know how I would project a target on this, but it would be a hell of a lot higher than this. So just watch this one closely. I think this thing could have make a big move above the upside here. I think is probably squeezing a lot of people out on shorts. As a short interest is pretty big in that one. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.